Hey guys, this is Andrew. Like you didn't already know that, because otherwise why would you be on this channel, huh? So today I wanted to take some time and talk about something that will literally change the fabric of the universe. Now, you may be asking yourself, but Andrew, what could be so important that it could do that? Well, that's very simple. Random person in the crowd out there. We're going to be talking about forgiveness and how to forgive others, and how to forgive yourself. Although I'm not sure yet if forgiving yourself will be in this video or not, so bear with me. You'll be able to tell by the video title. We should get started by saying why I'm even making a video about this. And that's a very good question. I'm going to say this in the simplest way possible. I had a friend. They did something bad to me. I forgave them, and now we're friends again. Kinda. Sort of. It's on the fence. I wanted to make a video about forgiving others and yourself, because I feel like that's something that not a lot of people quite know how to do or understand, or know if they should forgive somebody or know if they should not, and how many times they should forgive someone, and etc, etc, etc. So without further ado, I feel like we should get started. So what do you say? You want to get started? Will you go on this adventure with me? If you say yes, keep watching this video. If you say no, keep watching this video. I don't care. I want views. I'm going to be talking about why you should forgive people, both from a biblical point of view and from my own point of view, if that makes sense. Why we should forgive others is because, for one thing, we've all made mistakes in the past. We've all said or done things that may have hurt other people or were illegal. We have all made mistakes. We've all hurt people, I'm sure. We all feel like we can't necessarily forgive ourselves for doing some things. I don't know. Depends on what you did. I don't know. I don't own your lives. I don't run your lives. But so as we know, that if you're friends with somebody, most likely as a friend you love them, right? So if you love somebody, like me, I love my friends and my family and my, whatever. And I love everybody till they give me a reason not to, pretty much. And that's very hard for them to do. Love and forgiveness can't be separated, pretty much. Because if you're in a relationship of any sort of kind, you're gonna do stupid stuff, and you're gonna mess up and whatever. But that's fine, we all do it. So I guess the first thing I wanted to read from the Bible, and I'm going to just kind of like explain it then. The first one, and I'll put the words up on the screen somewhere. We should forgive others because we are sinners as well. So no one is perfect. That's why we should forgive others. Okay, and the real one that I really wanted to say and bring up was you have to be ready to forgive over and over again, because people, like I said, people mess up. People do stupid stuff and upset you and do crap, and you have to be ready to forgive over and over again. And a verse from this one is Matthew 18:21-22, and I'm going to read this twice, one in the New International Version and one in the New King James Version, because I like the New King James Version better, but I want to explain why then. Then Peter came to Jesus and asked, "Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother when he sins against me? Up to 7 times? And Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. That makes a lot of sense, but there's a reason why I like the New King James Version better, because I don't like the way the last part of that is worded. You'll see what I mean. Alright, so, New King James Version. Then Peter came to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? Jesus said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. So, 70 times 7 is 490. And I like that better because it better showcases how many times you should be prepared to forgive someone. Like 77 is like, woohoo. But 490 is kind of like a larger number that it really shows that you need to be prepared for anything, really. Very straightforward, I think. I don't really think I need to explain that. You just gotta be ready to forgive people other times, and sometimes it'll be hard. Sometimes it'll be hard to forgive people, but that's okay, because it's not always supposed to be easy. For me, it's easy, because I have a very forgiving nature. You could shoot me in the foot, and I'd probably be like, nah, it's cool, bruh. Don't worry about it. That's also one of my biggest flaws, and I'm gonna get into that right now, real quick. My biggest flaw is that, one, I'm really forgiving, and that can lead to me being hurt very easily. One of my friends, actually, she has said that my biggest flaw is that I only see the good in people, and sometimes I don't see the bad, which allows me to get hurt and forgive others more than they deserve. Add an example if you don't know what I mean. If you have a crush on somebody, or you like somebody, or you love somebody, or you hold them to a higher standard than yourself, to you, they don't seem like they can do anything wrong, basically. But if you've noticed, and this happens to me a lot, there's birds outside my window, this happens to me a lot, or this has happened to me a lot. I've stopped liking somebody, for whatever reason, I just didn't feel it anymore, or whatever, or I stopped holding them to a higher level of standard, or whatever, and I realized that they weren't as good as people as I thought they were. So you kind of become infatuated with them, and you really don't understand or know how bad of a person they are until you actually lose that, like, love goggles, I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna call them love goggles. So, that's kind of why sometimes being forgiving a lot can get you hurt, so you have to know when to draw the line. But I do not think that forgiving people over and over again is a bad thing. Forgiving people to the point where you let them get away with anything is a bad thing. It's important to forgive people a lot, yes, because everyone makes mistakes, but you have to draw a line for yourself. And you can forgive people and not want anything to do with them anymore. If you forgive somebody, that doesn't necessarily mean you want them to be back in your life. It just means that you forgive them for what they've done to you, so they can be better off. Another reason to forgive at all, really, is to avoid making others feel overwhelmed. And by overwhelmed, by the guilt of causing all of that pain to you, or to others, or whatever. So, it's important to forgive people. And my verse I have here is 2 Corinthians 2, 5-8, New International Version. If anyone has caused grief, he has not so much grieved me as he has grieved all of you to some extent, not to put it too severely. The punishment inflicted on him by the majority is sufficient. Now, instead, you ought to forgive and comfort him, so that he will not be overwhelmed by excessive sorrow. I urge you, therefore, to reaffirm your love to him. What this means is basically what I said earlier. If you love somebody, and they feel awful for something they did, and you forgive them, it will also, not only are you helping to alleviate the stress on your relationship, it also can help them to get over it too. I can't tell you how many times I've done something to somebody and I felt so horrible, and even after they say it's okay, I forgive you or whatever, I still feel bad. From that point of view, I understand, because other people can forgive you, but sometimes you have to forgive yourself, which is actually where this I'm going. So I'm glad this is all tying in, because I wasn't planning this at all. And the last one there's two more I want to say about forgiving others, and then we'll move on to the forgiving yourself. So the next one I want to say is actually a very popular verse. I've heard this a lot. I've seen this a lot, and I can recite this by heart. So Luke 6:37, do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. It's better to forgive others than judge them for their actions. Basically, that's basically what that says. Also, if you judge somebody else, you'll be judged yourself, and if you forgive somebody, then you will also be forgiven for what you've done. This goes back to what I said about forgiving people multiple times, and I'm just going to read this one too. This is actually a very popular one too. Luke 17:3-4, New International Version. So, wash yourselves. If your brother sins, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. If he sins against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times comes back to you and says, I repent, forgive him. That just goes back to what I said earlier about the forgiving multiple times. But you also have to forgive people even if they don't apologize. Because you have to learn to forgive others so you can be forgiven. This video is going to be too long, so we're just going to continue this in the next video, part 2 of this little lesson thing. So until then, I'll see you next time, and have a good day, even though it's just going to be uploaded at the same time, and blah blah blah. So anyways, bye.